This is somebody tell me that when we on this program, somebody just messaged me and said that I must be careful when I talk about Animal Farm, because we now discover that the president is a farmer. Not farmer, the president is a farmer. I was shocked yesterday. I said again, very little should shock me, you know, because I get it at the wrong line. But I was shocked yesterday when I looked at that 24 minutes tape from the opposition leader outlining what the accumulation of the president along the Linden Soesdyke highway. Oh Lord, I said, when are these people going to stop the accumulation? I'm trying to get the thing to read what is being said. When are they going to stop? Oh God, man. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Let me read one of the things here. This is, let me read a party. Let me read to give you a gist. Yesterday, the opposition leader released a tape. I ain't going to show you the quite long, 24 minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the page for those of you who have not seen it as yet, can go and look at it, because it has the narrative, plus it has drone footage and all of that. I was able to capture, I did some research and I got some still pictures, which I'll show you in a start while. What Garden Mosley News Source is reporting. In a detailed video released by opposition leader Ashuddin Mohammed this morning, that's yesterday, on a massive 150-acre ranch and farm owned by President Irfan Ali along the Linden Soesdyke highway, has gotten the president's attention and an admission that he's the owner of the facility. He has admitted that he owns the facility. In a 24-minute package video release that include drone footage and photographs of the farm and what the opposition leader calls a ranch, opposition leader accused the president of corruption in his acquisition of the land and farming activities taking place there. The facility includes the large cattle rearing and sheep rearing areas and farmland, as well as lodges and living facilities. Mohammed in his video said the president needs to explain the financing of the massive project that is tucked away off the highway, estimating that hundreds of millions of dollars would have been used to develop the area and the facilities. In a response to Newsroom, the president stated that he may be the victim of blackmail, claiming that he has been repeatedly contacted via text messages by the father of the opposition leader in recent weeks, calling for amends to be made between the president and his family. On the explosive allegation made by the opposition leader, President Ali said the farm was acquired by him before he assumed the presidency, adding that the acquisition of the property can be independently verified through banking records and other official documentation. He said he has also been making the appropriate declarations to the Integrity Commission and that the acquisition of his assets and the source of the funds used to acquire them are capable of verification through the relevant financial and regulatory records. The president said he has a long-standing passion for agriculture and farming, and his interest into the sector did not begin with his presidency. He further explained that the farm has never received any special benefit, preferential treatment, or assistance from the government of Guyana, either before or after he assumed office, and that at no point have state funds, public resources, or government assets been used in relation to the investment. The opposition leader said the entire project points to corruption, which he believes is a growing trend in the current government. That is Garden Mosley saying that. Now, I got a lot to talk about. But before I go further, I got time. Let me play y'all, just remind y'all what corruption is all about. I haven't played this in a long while, but I'm going to play this now. We get time. Today's holiday, as I said, we get time. Here we go.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corruption people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter. It's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society. We all lose when corruption is rampant. Those who participate in corruption have chosen evil over good, lies over truth, and personal gain over well-being of all. To be corrupt means to be rotten. When meat is corrupt, it's rotten, and it stinks. Rotten meat can't be eaten. When a person is corrupt, he's rotten and unfit for a place in the community. A corrupt person should be jailed in order to protect society from the vile deeds of the corrupt person. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified, intimidated, marginalized, and ridiculed. These kind of people who stand up against corruption will often feel alone, as if they are the problem instead of the solution. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it.
Yeah, you heard what corruption is. Let me add something there too that occurred to me while that tape was being played. When senior persons in a country at the level of the presidency and ministers and vice president are accused of corruption, corruption then is a threat to national security. Take, for instance, the Soesdyke allegation, never investigated. I maintain that the security, well, not some agencies around the world would have analyzed that tape, and they would have come to a conclusion as to the truthfulness of the allegation and so on. These allegations against ministers, Rodriguez, Zulfikar Mustafa, Ejil, now the president, the people are going to not take it at face value, that you say, well, I acquire this wealth and so on through legal means. They have their files and their dossiers. And I am sure they're going to use that, if they have not already done so, as leverage. They're going to be using it as leverage, so it becomes a national security threat. So those compromised persons are not making decisions in the best interest of the country. They are making decisions to save their own asses. Let's understand it clearly. Let's understand that. So it's a national security threat when you have corruption allegations against, allegations, mind you, but not investigated locally, but the people, the powers that be, I am sure they have investigated every single one of those things, and they get the files. They have their files. And they don't necessarily, as the president talked about blackmail, they don't have to necessarily tell you, say, well, look, do this or else. The fact that you know, that they have goods on you, you will do things that you believe are pleasing in their sight. That is the reality. That is the reality. But what we have, nothing, no investigation, none. And talking about that, let me just tell you how some other countries deal with corruption. I read something earlier last month. The Philippines. They propose, you know what they're doing? The Philippines Parliament proposed executing corrupt politicians by firing squad for stealing public funds. The Philippines, they say if the politicians are convicted, of course they outline a process for stealing public funds, then they must be executed by firing squad. I guess once you execute them by firing squad, there's public execution for thieving. And then I have a tape too from Malawi. I got a lot to talk about on this thing. For Malawi, you're doing research. Hear what, this is not a long tape. This is Malawi. Hear what this person is saying about corruption in Malawi.
You all feel from reading this audit report is not only righteous, but also one that I personally feel. And now that the evidence related to the 6.2 billion is before us, I'm taking action. As I speak, over a dozen individuals suspected of committing the crimes exposed by this audit report have just been arrested by the Malawi Police Service. So I want all of the thieves hiding in the civil service to mark my words. If the finger of evidence points to you as one of the thieves that stole COVID money for saving lives while hundreds of our people were dying of COVID, you are going to prison. On top of that, we will use the relevant laws to ensure that you pay back what you stole. Mubwezi. I have directed the Secretary to the President Cabinet, Mr. Zanga Chikosi, to interdict without pay those public officers on whose direct watch the financial mismanagement occurred. As for the Minister of Labor, who was named by the audit report as having spent COVID funds amounting to $613,000 on his allowances for a foreign trip, I have dropped him from my cabinet accordingly. Even though the minister has since returned the money, his usage of the funds means that the money was unavailable for its intended purpose when it was needed most. And I cannot have in my cabinet any individuals who either spend money budgeted for one thing on something else, or do not ask tough questions to ensure that the money they are spending on something was budgeted for that purpose.
You know, these things are dealt with elsewhere. In Guyana? Not in Guyana. This is I know he's Prime Minister or President, I know his designation. They got an audit report, according to what the gentleman is saying. And the audit report showed that funds were misappropriated, funds assigned for COVID relief misappropriated. He threatened them going to jail. We had an audit report recently from the Auditor General pointing out all kind of irregularity. What has happened? They sent home 9 regional executive officers. Was there any criminal or is there any criminal investigation for criminal liability? They just send them home. And that is why I continue to say this government cannot and will not deal in a proper way with corruption. Cannot, because all of them are compromised. They are all compromised. Either they themselves taking money, or they know who taking, or they're benefiting from it. They are all compromised. Hear what the person who just spoke said? There was one minister who used funds, and when the thing come, he pay back the funds. Pay back. He's still getting lash. We had our man use funds. I can call his name because I get the tape. He admitted that he paid back. Nanlal. So he used some funds and he paid back the money. We have the tape that he paid back. No consequences. So if you have a situation where people misappropriating and using funds, and they're paying back when you catch them, what you are encouraging? It means people going to thief, people going to do all sort of things, because if you don't catch them, they're all well and good. And when you catch them, I would say, I'm going to pay it back, man. I'm going to pay it back. And then it's business as usual. That is what we have. The man said about cabinet, he can't have people in his cabinet who are corrupt and involved in these things, even at the oversight level. Because if you're there and people below you are doing things, you are responsible. You don't have that in Guyana. You don't have that. And that is part of the problem. But let me move on. They said the amount of land, this 150 acres of land that the president get, is equivalent to 1,429 house lots. The president, and I can come to the part where they're claiming, all them jump out, they jump out, they came in out. Oh, you get the house, you get the land long before he became president. I'm going to address all of that. You sit back, get your cokes, get your popcorn. Get your cokes, get your popcorn. And let me warn you early now. Right? This is not about the messenger, because some people, not necessarily you on this program, they gonna come and they're gonna say, oh, as I didn't want it, because he's not to be believed. And forget about the messenger. Listen to the message. Forget about the messenger. And as Bob Marley said, who the cap fit, let them wear it. Only your friend know your secret. So only he can reveal it. Let me play the song for y'all, man. Who the cap fit. Here we go.
Man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust. Your worst enemy could be your best friend, and your best friend, your worst enemy. Some will eat and drink with you, then behind them sus upon you. Only your friend know your secrets. and they love you.
Yes, Bob Marley said, who the cap fit. So only your friend know your secret. So only your friend can reveal it. Only he can reveal it. So when you hear this thing or when you see this thing revealed, don't jump and look at the messenger. Listen to the message. Because I have said repeatedly that if Uri come from River Bottom and tell us a Patra get fever, you got to believe Uri. They've been together at River Bottom with Patra. You got to believe. You got to believe. And before I go, you know, there's a quote from the former president of the United States, Harry Truman. He says, show me a man who gets rich by being a politician, and I will show you a crook. Harry Truman said, show me a man who gets rich by being a politician, and I will show you a crook. Look at the spread. Let me show you some of the things that the president has on this farm on the Linden Soesdyke Highway. Sorry, this is the wrong one. Oh, Lord, I preempted it. Look. This is part of the thing there. Look like greenhouse. All them tanks of water and so on. You have to find the tape and look. I will put it up on the page for you to look. You see that? Look here too. Look, this is the house. Big fancy house with pool and all them type of thing. Farm in the background. These look like chicken runners. Several of them. The man is a real farmer. The man get pigs. The man get cow. He get sheep. He get goat. I didn't see a picture of the goat because I was looking to see if Clement is among them. You get goat, you get chicken, you get duck. What more you get? You also other thing the man get, man. The man say he always had a passion for farming. Get other passion too. Get passion for word that start with T and end with ING. Get passion for that too. Right? So this is it. This is part of it. Look more story. Farmer, big farm. The man rearing fish too, aquaculture. The man rearing fish. Some fancy, expensive Brazil, some fish from Brazil. The man got cows, Brazilian cows. The black belly sheep were coming here some time ago. They're there by the man farm. Look all them spread. Look, big spread. Big spread there. Right? Look more. Look, this is an overview of the whole area. This is an overview, a drone overview of the whole area. Look what's going on here, man. Look what's going on. Look what's going on. The man like agriculture, he said. Let me go into some other stuff. As I said, that spread is equivalent to 1,429 house lots. Right? 1,000. And he respond and he said, well, of course, you can't deny. He can't deny that the ranch, as Azadin Mohammed referred to it, is his. But how are we going to deny that? I mean, there's like, but I think he can't like that bad. He can't like that bad. Right? So he ain't denied. But here what he says that this is an attempt made to blackmail him, because he's claiming that some weeks ago, the father of the leader of the opposition, right, messaging for them to ease, right? They said the messaging to ease, well, I'm writing to get government to halt or ease the ongoing extradition proceedings. That is what he's claiming. That the father message, the president is claiming that Azadin Mohammed's father, Nazar Shel Mohammed, messaging the president and asking him to ease on for the government to halt or ease the ongoing extradition proceedings. And he is saying that because they didn't do that, that is why this exposure now for say that he corrupt and all this stuff. I got to talk about that too. Let me tell you something about that. Can you imagine this extradition proceeding is the extradition proceeding is going through the process. The government say they had nothing to do with it. The government, through the president, through Nandalal, they say, this is the US. They said, this is the US. This is not we. The US did the investigation. The US grand jury indicted Azadin Mohammed, and the US is seeking his extradition to the US to face trial. We ain't have nothing to do with it. Now, if it is that you ain't got nothing to do with it, how these people are asking you to intervene to ease the ongoing proceedings? Wait, them is mad people? them is smart people. You ain't got nothing to do with it, but you can intervene to stop these proceedings. And they gotta be crazy because this is a matter already before the court. The matter has reached the Caribbean Court of Justice, the apex court. And one can expect that anytime now, the Caribbean Court of Justice will render a decision in the matter. And remember, the aspect that they are dealing with is to whether the authority to proceed was tainted by bias. Not whether he must get extradited or not, Let me understand this thing clearly. The Caribbean Court of Justice is to rule as to whether this proceedings was tainted by bias. So wait, Azadin Mohammed and his lawyers and all them so stupid that they're going to ask you, the president, to try for halt or ease these proceedings? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And then let me say this. If you as a president claiming that these people trying to blackmail, that's the word they use, trying to blackmail you, what did you do? Why did you not involve law enforcement? Why did you not involve law enforcement? You're a president and a citizen, because he says the father, private citizen, trying to blackmail you, and you wait until you are exposed, till your backside get exposed, then you're going to come to say, oh, that they're trying to extort or they're trying to blackmail me. What nonsense. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And then let me address another important aspect here, because they jump out. Priya the Wailag and all them jump out. Oh, the president acquired this farm before he became president in 2020. That is the main story as far as I am reading. The main argument, or one of the main arguments, is that the president acquired this property before he became president. He became president in 2020. What was he before? Immediately before, he was in the opposition, 2015 to 2020, before he was in the opposition. Before 2020, from 2009 to 2015, he was the Minister of Housing and Water. He was a member of the government, a cabinet member of that ministry that is corruption plagued and pro. Remember, Susan Rodriguez was in the same ministry, the chocolate lady who sell chocolate and buy property for $540,000 US, chocolate, she in that same ministry. Charlotte Graves was the CEO. He bought a property in Queens, New York for $740,000 US. And that ministry that was headed by Irfan Ali is corruption plagued. Many, many allegations of corruption in that ministry. So, all right, Priya and others, the other sycophants, he did not acquire this property after he became president. When did he acquire it? When? I have been in government from 1992 all the way to 2015. I bet be sure that he acquired it during that period of time. I am going to bet, I'm not a betting man, but I'm willing to bet because anybody with little sense, not for y'all and get sense, even though Jack Joe said all of you stupid. We are not that stupid. He would have acquired it during that period. And forget about the acquisition of the property. Forget about the acquisition when it was acquired. It might have been acquired before he became president. When was it developed? When was the property developed? I will answer that. And again, my journalist friend, you got to ask these questions. Yes, he acquired it long before. I'm not saying that it is so, but it can be so that he acquired it before he became president. When was the property developed? When all them black belly sheep come, all them goat, excluding Clement, when the cows, duck, fowl, all kind of fowl the man get there, and also fish, the man already fish and all sort of thing. All sort of thing on this farm, an extensive piece of property the president get there. And then the laugh about it, the irony of it is many of their supporters, many of them who vote for him and put him there, eating dust, they're eating grass. They're eating grass. They're down there, can't make ends meet, 58% poverty. But today you want. that you want is that what you get. Man, stinking rich. Stinking rich. And let me go on more because let's say just before he became president, he insisted that there was no state involvement or public financing tied to the agricultural operation. Listen to them carefully, Listen to them carefully. Statement analysis. Read between the lines. The president is saying, is reported to have said, I hear he says it myself, so I got to put on my police cap. The president is reported to have said that there was no state involvement or public financing tied to the agricultural operation. Tied to the agricultural operation, he is specific. So what happened to the development of the infrastructure? Why have you not addressed that? What happened to the development of the infrastructure, the road, the electricity, and them things that go in there? Those things were developed with your own money? Tell us, man. Tell us. You are suggesting to us, Mr. President, that the access road, the electricity that would have been run into this area, can show you and working on generator and so on. You want to tell me that you go to the bank and you get loan to invest in road, to access the place, to put in electricity and all them. That is what you want to tell me? The excavating of all those, the excavation of the place, the digging of the fish ponds and all them type of thing. You telling us that all that is from your pocket? And even if it's from your pocket, how did you acquire the means? Yeah, test water and all them type of thing. Tell us. That is why you got to do a proper investigation, man. That is why you got to do a proper investigation. And this reminds me what you're saying there about the thing when you look at the access road and electricity. It reminds me of Pradoville 2. Pradoville 2 with Jack Dio and the tenant Sue and all them there. It's something similar to develop the thing, they move the transmitting line, the transmitting station, they build road, they run special water main from Better Hope to, and that's what they do. And what they do, the audit that was done later showed that it's government resources they use, hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. Hundreds of millions of dollars they used to do that. And before I forget this part, I think today somewhere they have Kadaki and Annette, they're talking about this, kill the bill, this bill for the president benefits. I want you to understand what happening here. So despite all what this president acquire here now, and by the time he term in, he can acquire more. They are saying that he mustn't pay taxes on all these things. Must not pay taxes. So this man get this $1 billion spread. And this bill that Nandalal Oslim pushed through Parliament is that he must pay taxes on them things. That is how I understand it. Right? And you tell me that you're going to sit back and allow that to go through. You're going to sit back. And then, they like to talk about the Integrity Commission. Because the president said that all his assets are reported to the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is a toothless poodle. The Integrity Commission of Guyana is toothless. They were appointed back in 2022, I think it was. And contrary to what is being said in some areas, they don't have a 3-year lifespan. I did the research. The Integrity Commission, the term is basically open-ended. So once they're appointed, they were appointed on the 31st of May or something like that, 2022. They are left at the pleasure of the president. It currently consists of Chandra Gadraj as chairperson. She is the wife, or was the wife, of the former minister, controversial minister of Home Affairs, Ronald Gadraj. His wife is the chairperson. They still have listed on the commission Dr. Joycelyn Kim Kai Thomas. They have listed on the site Dr. Joycelyn Kim Kai Thomas. We know that some time ago, the same lady, Dr. Thomas, Kim Kai Thomas, was appointed as an appeal court judge. She is appointed as an appeal court judge. They have two, Mohammed, but it's Pani Anif, Mohammed Anif. Mohammed Anif is a Muslim preacher in New Amsterdam, but at least I know him personally. At least I knew him personally. He is on the Integrity Commission. A man by the name of Ardesh Tiwari, we know him. Then they have a person, Wayne Bowman, is on the commission. And the commission has a secretary or a CEO, I don't think the styling secretary, Dr. Amanda Jai Singh. Dr. Amanda Jai Singh, the wife of the secretary to the Police Service Commission, Jai Gobind Jai Singh. She is on the Integrity Commission. Our credentials are being questioned. I have been in academic circles, and they say they can't find what research she did, what dissertation she did to get his doctorate. They can't find, they have checked, and people who are supposed to know tell me that. Now, so they talk about the Integrity Commission, and I've said it before. How the Integrity Commission and this president talking about works. At the end of the year, they send you a document to declare your assets. You write up what you want to write up, and you send it, and you tell them, and they accept what they are told. Whatever you are told, whatever they are told, they accept that as your declaration. I don't know that the Integrity Commission investigates to confirm that the declaration is accurate. I don't know that the Integrity Commission takes action against anyone who failed to declare. Not so long ago, about a month or two ago, they published in the newspaper a whole set of people who have not declared. And I think they're threatening to take legal action. What has happened? What has happened? Integrity Commission. I tell Ayala a story already. Someone once related to me, and the person said that I am not going to ever again make a declaration to the Integrity Commission, because the person said that they made a declaration, accurate, honest declaration, and declared a piece of property that they had. Nobody knew of the property. They declared this property, and they said at a gathering sometime later, a person approached them to purchase the property. And the person swear that the only way they could have known of that property, because that information would have been leaked to them. That's what the allegation is. So I said, the person said, hey, let us send me to jail. I am not making another declaration to them. I am not. But, you know, Jamaica has an Integrity Commission too, you know, and other countries. But let me play this to you, a story from Jamaica about a month ago or so about their Integrity Commission. Listen to this.
Jamaica is waking up to a political storm this Thursday, June 18th, 2026. The Integrity Commission has recommended that a sitting cabinet minister be criminally charged. Parliament descended into chaos over a controversial deportee deal with the United States, and a diplomatic note from the U.S. Embassy is now pointing directly at a member of the Jamaican government. This is your Jamaica Daily Brief, your daily highlight of the major stories for every Jamaican everywhere. Wheatley. Minister without portfolio, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, is at the center of a major integrity probe after the Integrity Commission tabled its report in Parliament this week. Investigators concluded that between 2013 and 2022, Wheatley held assets and expenditures that exceeded his known lawful income by approximately $164 million. The Commission is recommending that the matter be referred to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for consideration of charges including illicit enrichment, false declarations, and failure to provide information. Key concerns in the report include a joint venture property development in East Kirkland Heights in St. Andrew, undisclosed shareholdings, 6 apartment units investigators say were transferred to Wheatley in 2018, 5 commercial loans from the Bank of Nova Scotia that were not declared, and nil tax returns filed for 2011 and 2012, despite evidence of business activity during those years. Wheatley has rejected the findings in full. In a statement, he called the report patently false, grossly misleading and inaccurate, saying investigators ignored evidence that would have changed the outcome. He maintains every dollar and asset he owns was lawfully acquired and says his legal team will mount a vigorous defense. Parliament chaos/deportimo.
That is Jamaica. We neighbor Jamaica. Minister Wheatley. Declaration. They investigate and they discover that his assets do not match his earnings and so on. Threatening court action and all that. Jamaica. The Prime Minister of Jamaica visited Guyana recently. Wonder if they could ask see how it is done over in Jamaica. Wonder. Right? And let me address my countryman asking a question. Why is the Mohammeds only bringing this out now? Because they fall out. The people would have never known if there was no falling out with the PPP. They are both one and the same, birds of a feather. Again, I said, don't look at the messenger. The fact that it is coming out and it is for them to bring evidence to show that it is not true. It is for them to bring evidence. A lot of things come to light when people fall out. And that is what makes it, to me, more credible, because they were birds of a feather and they flocked together. So now that they fall out and he decides that he can spill the beans, I believe it makes it more credible. And these are things, as a former senior policeman, that can be properly investigated. President said he get loan from the banks. The president claims that he has loan from the banks. Even though banks might have privacy policies, if you want to do a proper thorough investigation, all that can be revealed. What loan he get, how much loan he get, when he get the loan, and all them things. What was the collateral for the loan, and all them everything. All of those things. So they making nice, but let me say this too. He making us nice because what's gonna happen? They're gonna come and nothing is going to happen. This is gonna blow over. Because that is what is happening. And I had to ask a friend yesterday, these revelations are made, many, many revelations about corruption. What happens after that? We hear revelation about Susan Rodriguez, the chocolate lady. Jill and he picked me them, nothing. Mustafa and he picked me, nothing. And so many others, nothing. It's only they come out, but nobody follows up these things. And I am saying this, as I did before with the Jack Dio case. If you are so innocent, why not cause a proper investigation to be done to clear your name? But they're going to do that. And I believe the reason why they're not going to do that, because a lot of truth, all of these things, the thing might not be 100% accurate, but a lot of truth, they say where there is smoke, there is fire. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And don't forget this, Don't forget, let me read a Kaicho News dated January 1st, 2012, New Year's Day, January 12, 2012. Headline, after 2 years as minister, Irfan Ali builds mansion with pool house. The construction of a house at Leonora, West Coast Demerara, is the talk of the neighborhood. The talk of neighbors who say that the property is owned by 31-year-old Irfan Ali, the Minister of Housing and Water. The house appears to accommodate 8 bedrooms, a large living room, a detached kitchen, and a walkway that runs around the building, around the front of the building. One resident describes it as a mansion. In addition to the home, there is a multi-million-dollar pool house, which makes the $69 million quarantine office of the National Insurance Scheme office look like a garage. The cost of the construction, which is near completion, is estimated at more than $300 million if the sum paid by the government for projects that have been advertised and completed are a yardstick. One contractor using the same government estimates said that the fence to the compound of that estate would be about $50 million. Some have actually questioned Minister Ali's wealth, bearing in mind that he came from humble beginnings and has been a minister for just about 3 years. Look what they're talking about. Look what they're talking about then. This is the place at Leonora that used to be I think the Lenora senior staff club, then white man, they make this big fancy building here. I think I went there once or twice many years ago when it was still the under Gaisuku. This is the building here. Wrap around veranda. Look at the pool house. Look at the pool house. This is a minister at 31 years old after being in government for a very short time. Y'all must explain all of that, man. Priya and all of them will come, they're going to turn out 0 not. The man license to lick Bati to come and to say all sort of thing. Them is the thing you must explain. So it's not only now, this $1 billion farm, the man had since then, back then, this was around 2012, 2011, big fancy house. And to be fair, hear what he had said. So me give you all the other side. He said, Minister Ali Dobbs' Kaichor report lies and mischief. This was on the 3rd of January 2012. He threatened legal action. Here the man, since 2012, when Kaichor News broke that news about this mansion, Irfan Ali threatened legal action. Hear what it says. Let me read to you. I just sit back, man. Sit back. Share. We have good numbers, but share. Minister of Housing and Water, Irfan Ali, has outrightly denounced the sensational front page story in the Kaichor News caption, after 2 years as minister, Irfan Ali builds mansion with pool house. The article dated January 1st, 2012. In his response, Mr. Ali pointed out that the wicked, devious, and sensational report by the Kaichor News is nothing more than a personal attack, which has now left him and his family exposed to security and other threats. It is on this basis, Ali noted, that his lawyers would now look at the consequences of this personal invasion based on sheer lies and mischief. He said, quote, when someone builds a house, it is meant to be their home, a personal sanctuary where they feel secured and private. It is clear that the motive of Kaichor News was to mislead and expose myself and family to security and other harms. Though the very essence of peace and security that my personal property was supposed to have offered me is destroyed. I will leave my fate in the hands of my lawyers and the judicial system so that justice can be done. The basis of the report brings into question the construction of the minister's home, dubbed a mansion, situated at Leonora on the west coast of Demerara. Minister Ali Awa emphasized that the property in question was acquired before he assumed office as a minister of the government. It has, quote, it has been almost 4 years now since I have been working on this property. 4 years, not 2 years. The house referred to as a mansion house was an old wooden house owned by the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Gaisuku. After acquisition, it is the same property that was rehabilitated and retrofitted. More than 70% of the house remained the same material and style that was there on acquisition, he highlighted. He maintained that the only completely new construction was the referred to pool house. As to the allegation which suggests that the purchase of the property was done in an unscrupulous manner, Minister Ali said the acquisition was no secret deal or unscrupulous. The facts are that this property was publicly advertised for sale before I became a minister. As any other Guyanese, I placed a bid for the property, and mine was the highest bid price offered. So what is secret and unscrupulous about this? Counting the house and water minister, the housing and water minister proved the information contained in the Kaichor News article was erroneous, as he highlighted that the properties in question consist of 3 bedrooms, not 8, as was stated in the article. In rebutting the mischievous report in the Kaichor News, Minister Ali continued, worst of all, the fence, which is a chain link and walaba on the one side and back, and concrete and grill work on the front, was estimated at 50 million. It has to be the most unethical, unprofessional piece of journalism in Guyana. This is it. So again, let me do some maths. This is 2012. Ali said he acquired this before he became a minister. 4 years before. So he acquired this since around 2008. They said when he acquired this as minister, he was 31. Take out 4 from 31, how much you get? 27. So Ali is telling us, what he do in them time? He is selling chocolate too. Ali is telling us that at around 27 years old, he was able to acquire this property. I make that make sense, man. You see, the believe people stupid. That is what he's saying, based on the article. Because this article is saying that he acquired this property at 31. 2 years after he became minister. He's saying, nah, 4 years before he acquired this. So we are saying then that around 27 years old, he acquired this property. Gaisuko Staff Club. That is what he's saying. That is what he's saying. And again, no investigation. And here, no, man, the thing is that at that time, in 2012, Ali threatened legal action against Kaicho News. Legal action. He put it in the hands of his attorneys. What to the matter about it? They like using the attorney thing in an effort to try and intimidate people. That's what they try to do. They try to intimidate by saying, I'm going to put it in the hands of my attorney. Knowing full well that they ain't going nowhere, because even if the story is not 100% accurate, they know many parts of it are true. And it can't stand no proper scrutiny. Can't no scrutiny. Right? Can't jump them people and let's say cat Sagi Jarvis said, old people say if you're born Diwali night, the darkest night in the year, or if cat jump you on, you can't stop thief. Sagi Jarvis, old officer in the force, 51, Edmund Jarvis, he said that cat jump the hand, Bengal tiger. Sagi said when the thief in Bengal tiger jump the hand. Bengal tiger. He can acquire that at 27. His mother was a teacher. They say his father was a teacher. You tell me. You tell me. Are you telling me because I'm stupid? I can't reason these things out for myself. I one of these stupid people Jack they talk about. I can't reason this thing for myself. But how did he acquire the property? That was then. He said 4 years before the thing. So that was around 2008. He would have been around 27 then. Fast forward to now. Billions of dollars on the highway. Billions. And he get loan from the bank. Somebody walk out his savings. Somebody said with $3 million a month as president, they walk out to say that even if he put all the president money, he still can't acquire that. You say you get loan from the banks. Which banks? What were the quantities? Because I don't suppose that a bank would have given you, well, maybe because you're president and you get leverage over certain people, they might have given you. What you use as collateral. All of these things are to be examined. I get other aspects of this to go into, but I pass the time. Because I will tell you all something, I'll give you all a little lecture. I did it before, but I think it's opportune now for me to repeat it. I'll give you all a little lecture about money laundering. When you acquire money by illegal means, what you got to do to try to make it clean? They call it money laundering. And I suspect a lot of money laundering going on in Ghana. I'm not referring to this particular case, but I'm saying a lot of these acquisitions and so on could be, I'm not saying it is, could be money laundering. I have the notes, but time has caught up with us this morning on this good CARICOM day. And y'all ain't even telling me on CARICOM day how we're doing. Whether I should cut off now. Whether I should cut off now. The throat dry, so I got to cut off in a short while. Folks, let me say this. As you see, the numbers are there. I want to, again, let me say, I almost forgot to mention this part today. Who can investigate this? Who will investigate? Soku? Soku can investigate a matter like this? Who? Tell me who. And if they have such a good relationship with the U.S. that they claim, why not call in the feds? Why not call in some credible investigative body? I know it's because you call for the U.S. You got to call for credible people to investigate a matter like this, because this is not no easy investigation. This is not an easy investigation. This got to go all the way back to make sure that your name clear, because if it is, as we say, you are so innocent. Mohammed is so vicious and vindictive and exposing you like that, why not calling a credible organization to come to investigate? They will never do that. Never, ever. Never, ever. Because they're going to open, according to Derek Thompson, the hornet's nest. Oh boy, that's what they're going to do. That is what they are going to do. But I have a lot more to say on this thing. And I suspect that between now and when we come again Wednesday, you're going to hear more. Because I know they're going to write. They're going to send out the sycophants to come and to troll and to say all sort of things. I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them for them to come out. I am waiting for doing research and bring facts. Facts are stubborn things. Facts, you know. So I was able to go back into the archives to pull up that Leonora property. Right? Because they're talking about this massive highway farm. Farmer Brown, by remember Lord Funny? Farmer Brown are the jackass. Remember that song? I should play it one day. Farmer Brown. Farmer Brown. That is his turn, Farmer Brown. So he moved from Alibaba to Farmer Brown. Right? Look, again, let me show you all the vast expanse of property. Let me show you all. Let me remind you. And they're there. But this is what you get. This is what you all get. Vast expanse. Look. Look, big. Look, in the wilderness there on the highway. Look. Fancy house and so on. And the house get pool. Look, pool. The man like pool. The house at Lenore get pool with pool house. This one here. Look. Look like pool house and party place and all that. Look. And this man is supposed to be a counter Dennis Shabal. This man is a devout Muslim. Dennis Shabal says so from the Marara Waves that the man is a devout Muslim. I don't know how many wives he has. Right? Look, all this is big thing. And I couldn't show all because the platform didn't allow me to make a file. And if I had known, I would have made a second file. But I couldn't. That is what you get. That is what you get. And they come to tell you. So when, and again, I am encouraging thieving. Those who know me know. But when a policeman on the road take a Granger and he think, oh, Nandala, let him jump down, as they should do. As they rightly should do. When a policeman take a bribe, they have a right to come down on him. But don't stop them, man. Don't stop them. Look at all the hundreds of millions and billions that is being siphoned off and so on. Look at all. Because I maintain if they're going to do this investigation, President said, let me, I don't want to misquote him. He said, hold on. He said, insists that there was no state involvement or public financing tied to the agricultural operation. That is what he said. What about the development of the infrastructure, the road, the light, and so on? And then I asked the question here too. Are government employees, people who are paid by the government, made to work there? Soldiers, police. Are government vehicles used to transport workers? All them things I ask. So it's not only that whether you acquire the property since you came president. All of these things you have got to look into if you're going to do a proper investigation. How was the access road built? How was the electricity got there? How are government resources being used to upkeep the property? Was government resources used to clear the property as they did for Pradoville too? Do you have soldiers, police, and other government-paid employees working there? Who are the people on your payroll? Look, you see, then I invite me to do the investigation. I can do them free. I can put together a team and I can do it free. I can do the investigation free. Because the questions I will ask, or I want to be an advisor to the investigators. I want to be an advisor to the investigators to tell them where to look and what to look for. Right? So,